Yeah, this hurts. This hurts. This one is gonna sting for a while. I'm normally pretty good at moving on from a loss, but this one's gonna sting for a while. And I yeah, I it's just I really thought the Rams were gonna win this game. And it's nothing. Not that Seattle's not a good team. Just I'm just an overly optimistic fan. Okay, the Rams have lost to the Seattle Seahawks, 31-27, in a game that, as I reflect on it in this moment afterwards, the Rams had opportunities to win this game. They absolutely did. Um, there were some mistakes on special teams that really hurt them. They really did not have an answer for JSN, but not many people did have an answer for JSN this season, and I think that the game plan for this, especially in the first half, maybe just didn't translate well into this. The Rams definitely had, you know, opportunities in that fourth quarter. I think that one drive and the pass to Terrence Ferguson wasn't the best. That there was the turnover on downs that kind of ended that drive. Obviously, they had a touchdown there. This game is way different, way different. But let's talk about this. So Stafford, 374 yards and three touchdowns against, a phenomenal Seattle defense. Stafford was cooking, right? He was doing his thing. Almost had a fourth touchdown pass. Oh, that one's gonna sting. It honestly it does remind me of the divisional round loss last year to the Eagles. Just short, just short. Blake Corum and Kyron Williams were actually really key contributors in this game. Valiant effort by both of them. 9 for 55 for Corum on the ground. Kyron was 10 for 39. But if we look here in the receiving yards, Blake Corum had 3 for 24, and Kyron had 2 for 22 that were very important. Obviously, the touchdown reception, but he had a 13-yard one later on in the game. But I really do love this Rams team. I really do. I know it had flaws, especially in special teams. That's something that the Rams are going to have to figure out in the offseason because the special teams became not just a liability, but, a non-factor for them. And Seattle special teams were significantly better all year long. Uh, I would say that the Rams had the talent to beat Seattle, but they didn't have the execution this particular game. It was close. Tariq Woolen almost gave them something to really come back from when with that taunting thing. And yeah, it was tough seeing, guys like Cooper Kupp and Ernest Jones make big plays, former Rams there. You see Omar Spates, the leading tackler for the Rams. And ultimately, the Rams playmakers on defense, Nate Landman, Kobe Turner, Jared Verse, Byron Young, when when the Rams really needed that play to go their way, they couldn't get it done. And credit Seattle, they made the plays at the end to put the game away, right? And the Rams, they got the ball back, no timeouts, 30 seconds from, you know, their own like what was it, like was it their 10? I don't even remember. So they had a long way to go. And it hurts. It hurts. I wonder what's going to happen with this Rams defense secondary. There's a lot of players on here that have some question marks. This was a big year for them. This is still, a Rams team that made it to the NFC Championship game. I'm not going to belittle that accomplishment, but the goal was Super Bowl, right? That was the goal. And I'm thankful to be a fan of a team and be a YouTuber that covers the Rams that has that expectation, right? Go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl. That's what you want with your team, right? Sam Darnold played really well this game. One of the best games of his career, in one of the in the biggest game of his career. up to this moment. And Sam Darnold's a really interesting story, going from the Jets to the Panthers, the Niners, and now then the Vikings, now the Seahawks, and yeah, that's credit to him. He played really well. Kenneth Walker was a factor in this game, but I don't want to. I wouldn't say Kenneth Walker was the main reason that the Rams lost this game. He was a factor for sure, but I would give it more. Obviously, JSN 10 receptions for 151 yards, one touchdown there. That 42-yard long one was brutal, and there were several other key contributors in the Seahawks passing game that just they got the first down when they needed it. Right, Cooper Cup ultimately, he had a touchdown catch, but also the the third down conversion where he reached out and he got it. Right, that was kind of when this game kind of got out of hand for sure. Looking over the team stats here, both these teams, putting up some yards. 479 for the Rams on a really good Seattle defense. I'm not convinced that the Rams couldn't have won the Super Bowl this year, and I think that's heartbreaking because that's 2 years in a row here in the playoffs. The Rams fall short, and I know that that's part of sports, right? Is your team that they're really good for, and in football you just get one game, right? It's win or go home, and that's what happened to the Rams here. They're headed home. I feel for all the coaches, all the players. That's gonna be a long plane ride home. We still need to see what happens with Chris Shula and Mike LaFleur. Are they gonna be back? Who knows? Who knows, right? It's a tough one. It's a tough one here. There were no turnovers this game except for the fumble on I guess the muff punt from Xavier Smith. That I think it's safe to say Xavier Smith will not be a Ram next year. And honestly, the Rams special teams as a whole probably could use a big facelift. So that's something to watch for sure. Rushing, the Rams were able to outrush the Seahawks 114 to the Seahawks 75. They had more first downs. This is a telling stat here. The Rams only had one third down conversion all game, 1 for 8. And I know later on in the game they kept on getting, big plays and chunk yardage on first and second down, which is awesome. But when you have a Seattle team that has a really good defense and they have an offense that is very efficient, is the way I would describe it. Making it a living on third down, going 1 for 8, not a recipe for victory in this game. That's for sure. This is a Rams team that's really good. It sounds like Stafford's going to be back next year. There's some question marks for sure. But this one does hurt. And I know I'm rambling here, and I'm sorry. And if you're watching with me still, thank you for tuning on in all the way to the end of this video. But there's so many emotions and thoughts going through my head right now. Uh, Thanks for hanging out with me this season, watching my videos and live streams. And well, thank you so much for watching. As always, go Rams, horns up, and peace out. I'll have a bunch of stuff coming out. Might take a break. I don't know. Ah, this one's tough. But thank you all for hanging out with me this season.